Hello again, everyone. I made a few of these cards yesterday, and I posted a picture on my Facebook page. I didn't do a video, and in the post I described it as a die cut from the silver, which was put over a slightly smaller die cut aperture from a plain circle. And people said, well, why do you need two dies? What do you need two dies for? What I didn't mention, I think this is a confusing bit, is that this front panel is raised on foam tape. So that picture is recessed. So if I wanted to try and put this die over the top, if I just use that one, if that top panel is raised, there would be nowhere to attach it to keep it raised with the top panel. So a slightly smaller aperture means I've got a little edge just to stick it to. And I'll just show you what I mean. I think a picture paints 1,000 words, they say, don't they? So just let's have a look at this. I'll just try and do some examples just to show. I'm not going to make a complete card today, but I'll just show you what I mean. Let's use this bit of scrap here. And I will cut out the thanks one that's on there. I've got my rather special base plate here. I was cutting out an intricate die yesterday, so I needed my precision plate. So I'll just cut it out with this for now. Okay. Right. Here is my, if you're pretending this is your front panel, here's my die cut. If I want to raise this over that and put perhaps a silver one in, how do I get it to stay? Because there's nothing to attach it to except the very edge, and that's not going to stick. So if it's raised over that like that, it's going to fall through. So what I do is this. I cut this. If you look at these two, this one is a Presscut die. This one is memory box. This one is just marginally smaller than that one. So if I cut one of these, there it is. Pretending this is my aperture now, and this one just fits on that very edge. So it's got something to be attached to. So when it's put over there like that and stuck down, it's got something to hold on to. I think if you were doing your back, the front of your card with that on, you could just stick this one directly onto it, the whole of it stuck down, no problem. But to me, I like to add a little dimension to cards. So I think we'll just I'll go ahead and show you what I did with another card, just so that you can kind of see. So I've got another one of these here. This one says birthday. So we'll cut one of these out from the silver. What I did with the card I made yesterday, I did a white one as well, and stacked the silver one on the top, just to make it a little bit more robust, because when it's hanging there in space, as it were, it's a bit more tricky. I think I'll do that now, actually. I'll cut another one to stick this to. Right, I've got a bit more scrap. I have a load. This is the piece of card that I get left over when I'm, is that going to fit? It will just fit. So let me just show you. Come out, wherever you are. There must be somewhere where it's, there we go. Right, let's cut a white one. Got a couple here. I say that's the piece of card that I get left over when I make a square card from a sheet of A4. There's been a lot of talk about on my comments recently about square cards and all the rest of it. I just like the look of a square card. I like the, I like the dimensions. And for some designs, a square is the perfect shape for me. But some of our American friends say, oh, well, it costs more to send a square card in the States, but there's nothing to stop you putting a square card into a rectangular envelope. And then just, if you want to make sure that the flappy bit that's too long is filled, you just put a thin piece of card, rectangular card behind. Anyway, let me just stack these together and just, because it's not particularly thick mirror card, and it would be a little bit flimsy, I guess. Right, this one on the top. Let's do it over here, away from that glue. I will clean that glue in a moment. Not quite there. Just trying, I should have my glasses on really for precise work. There we go. So that now is a little bit more robust than it was. Let me just wipe this. Okay. Now, so that I get this dimension in the card, I've got a half piece here. And for this one, I used a stitched die, which is this one here. Okay. There's my... Let me just clear up a little bit of this. Just flatten it a little bit. There we go. So I have a stitched die, and I'm going to have this circle is it fits the same for both the birthday and the thanks. So I'm going to do my front panel like this. I'm going to use just a little low tack tape, if I can put my hand on it. It isn't where it's supposed to be. Where is it, I ask myself. Ah, it's fallen down. All right, a little low tack tape. This is my sticks to anything low tack tape. It's really lovely. Okay. I'll use my other length, I think. Should be fine. Just make sure we're still okay. Yep. Put on the wrong one. Right. Oh my goodness. This is quite a thick die. I don't know where I got these dies from, but they're just double stitched. Right. Peel off carefully. Okay. Now, my front panel will be raised. This is just on copy paper just for quickness, but it can be raised like that, which altogether straight away gives it more dimension. So what I want to do now is to stick this to that aperture there. So for this one, I want to use this glue. I think there'd be a bit of a funny problem with that bit there if you use that as trying to cut an aperture as well. Make sure it was coming out. Round we go. I'm not sure what picture I'm going to put behind him for this one. In fact, I was just going to do this just to show you what we do. And I think I've made a bit of a boo-boo there. I don't need to go all into there, do I? Because it'll be over the aperture. Okay, top on. and some tweezers, and then that can go over there. Okay. Just check the back to make sure it's... I'm really lucky that these Presscut dies, the circular ones, they've got so many... I'll show you them. They've got so many sizes that, you know, it's so easy to be able to... Fine. Oh, I can't. They're behind the camera. But there's just so many sizes that you know, this is almost a size for everything. So that then can go like this. Okay, so that's the reason basically why I had 2 dies rather than 1 die. If you had 1 die, you could make it look similar, but it wouldn't have the depth, the dimension of having a raised top panel, because this then foam tape around here, around the edge, and onto the front of a card. These are my bits I cut off, you see. That's a piece of A4. Cut it off, and then simply score. I've got the 2 lines that I do most just highlighted with a Sharpie, so that I don't have to bother looking and say, have I got the right one, have I got the right one? It's just obvious where it is. So there's my square card, there's my front panel, and I'll put some sort of something inside. So I hope it made it a little clearer. I know what I'm doing, and I'm hoping I'm kind of telling you what, but I think the thing I missed yesterday was to say that that front panel was raised. I think that was the confusing part, really. Without saying that front panel was raised, there's probably, you know, you wouldn't know. Okay, well, as ever, thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day.